swallowed up my personal foolishness. So I'm late getting here. But God's will be done. I'm here with a message to his people. Not only here in a seat in the congregation, but in the most exalted place in any church, the pulpit. Now you don't get here on this holy ground unless it's God's will. So I must have something to say that he wants you to hear. Now Jonah's message to his people of Nineveh was to turn from their wickedness. My message to you today is to call your remembrance to black people's history. Now, black people's history is not a great thing to celebrate. It is a sad, sorrowful time to commemorate, harsh though it may be. This is my message to you today. This is my story. The dreamer looks down from the mountaintop. He sees but a remnant of his vision. He stands, he stares in silent bewilderment as his tears run down his face like so many rivers. He speaks to his world with a voice that rumbles like thunder. Oh God, my God, what went wrong with the divine plan for man? Have they all joined Satan's band? They lie, they steal, they cheat, they kill. Who is left with honor? Appalled and stricken, the dreamer is sickened at the sight he must behold. For a people glorious and proud, brave and strong, has lost sight of the dreamer's goal. Where are the children, he asks, grown so soon, died in the war between the cocks and the coons? Where are the children, old lady, my house? The ones you birthed, the ones you nursed, the ones you loved, your black-born daughters and sons, the ones who laughed, the ones who played, the ones who cried, and the ones who prayed. Could have gone back to Africa, but yet they stayed. They worked, they hoped, they dreamed, they loved, they trusted while you screamed. Where are the children, O motherland, the ones God delivered into your hands? O brutal beast, O warm breast, where so many have come to rest. Where are the children of despair, gone so soon, disappeared into thin air? Where are the children, America, my love, country of hope, of freedom? Mother of many, where are they, I say? Land of plenty, house in disarray. Now only the sound of silence could the dreamer hear this day. Then a disciple stepped forward to boldly say, thanks to you, dreamer, help is on the way. The seeds you planted so long ago have reached full fruit today. Brothers and sisters, in keeping with an old historical tradition that says, let each moment of one's life be a teachable moment. I greet you, my people, with a bit of knowledge that, if accepted, will most assuredly make your life more abundant. I offer you today, my people, the knowledge of the growth of man, measured by the number 7. I hope you can receive it. For every human being goes through this transition in life. From 1 to 7 years, the putting forth of teeth takes place. From 7 to 14, he arrives at the age of puberty. 14 to 21, growth of the beard takes place. 28 to 35, no, 21 to 28, he arrives at the fullness of his strength. 28 to 35, he reaches the season of marriage. 35 to 42, he arrives at the maturity of his understanding. 42 to 49, reaches the most improvement and growth of both his intellectual and reasoning powers. 49 to 56 is the sum of the perfection of both. 56 to 63, his passions assume a mildness and gentleness from being to a great degree tame. From 63 to me, the desirable end of life comes upon him, while his limbs and organic senses are still unimpaired. For excessive old age is apt to weaken and enfeeble them all. Brothers and sisters, I have passed through all those stages of life. Therefore, as an elder, I feel that I have earned the right to be here today. Not only right, but also an obligation to pass on knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to you. That is what Dr. King did. That is what he and God expect us to do. So I'm extremely happy to be standing here with you to celebrate Dr. King's birthday and also commemorate this Black history moment in time. Now, out of this day, I have been allocated a few minutes to expound on my view of Black history in America. Now, since this lecture is so poetically titled, Moment in Time, and Black history is so vast and ancient that eons of time could not explain it all. Now, so I won't waste my moment in time talking about how great some dead slave was, how they persevered to lead their people, how the paths they forged, the footprints they left us, led us to this beautiful place in time. No, I won't do that. Because it seems to me that for so many of us, their footprints and paths has led us to a new captivity with new names and titles. Now we're no longer the darky, the spade, the spook, sunshine, hambone, or coon. No more Sambo, spear chucker, black buck, and Negro winch. New captivity has given us new names, such as junkie, crackhead, meth addict, deadbeat dad, baby mama, hoe, inmate, convict, felon, criminal, drug dealer. Some path, wouldn't you say? What a legacy. Therefore, it's difficult, very difficult, for me to lay out a politically correct version of Black history and Dr. King's contribution in my little allocated moment in time. Now, I view Black history and criminal history as synonymous, which is different from most people. Understand that in my distorted view, America has always been somewhat a prison for Black people. Now, Black history history screams for us to recall that black people came to America in prison garb. They came off the ships, chained and shackled, covered with feces, stained with each other's urine. They came into a system based on suspect morals, principles, and values. They were forced to adapt to that system and give it 100% loyalty and respect. From 1619 to 1776, 157 years, blacks were brutally forced to accept a merciless system that relegated them to subhuman status as judges. From 1619 to 1964, black people worked, fought, sacrificed, and died for a new beginning for humanity in America, only to be rewarded with a stronger set of chains of captivity written into the Declaration of Independence. For them, a new declaration of confinement and bondage that would last until today. Now, the atrocities that this system committed against black people was, according to today's standards, horrendously criminal and barbaric. Changes in the law reflects this fact. Still, from where we all stand today, in my view, very little about this system for black people has changed. Sure, we've become more sophisticated, but that's about it. But now you can rest assured that Roger Davis is not here today to sophisticate anyone. I'm here to educate, to help fulfill the dreamer's dream of unity, love, peace, understanding, and nonviolence. Black history screams for us to recall the criminal nature of this nation's beginning. If you have forgot, let me refresh your memory. Now, there was a group of white men who called themselves patriots, whose objective was to overthrow the government. Now, their objection to the system of government was for the lack of representation. So they entered into a criminal conspiracy to commit an act of treason. Yes, a criminal act. They would all have been hung as common criminals had they been captured. Can you imagine George Washington, James Madison, John Adams, and my great-great-great-great-grandfather, Thomas Jefferson, all 56 of these founding fathers being hung as common criminals? If they had been, chances are good we would still be singing God Save the Queen and not celebrating at this moment in time the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King. Either way, black people's history would still be this sad, cruel, sadistic story. Now, the irony here is that those brilliant men, founding fathers, seekers of freedom, were so adamant and committed to securing their own personal freedom, dignity, and respect, but yet so opposed to the black people securing the same. Wow. What hypocrites that framed and formed us, taught us criminality and self-hate. Now, I'm not the only black man with this view. And I'm not and please understand that I'm not injustice or had a hard life. I'm not sitting around with my head hung, feeling sorry for myself, always asking, why me? There are plenty of white people in America that has had their share of pure hell of injustice also. So my question is, why any of us? Why did we have to endure this evil? Why? What happened to black people and white people in America from 1619 to 1964 in the form of our separation by rule of law was not only wrong, evil, and ungodly, it was also unmistakably criminal. So how must I view the system in place today as compared to the period 1619 to 1964? Hey, from where I've stood in America's prison system for over 40 years of my life, and what I've experienced from America's actions in my 79 years, the changes have been minimal at best. The biggest changes have occurred in the black people themselves, not in the system as a whole. But now the problem with that was that, hey, black people, you didn't need to change. There was nothing wrong with you. You were not evil, mean-spirited, lazy, criminal-minded, as accused. The system was. And the system needed to change and still does. You should not have accepted an equality that relegated you beneath your natural nature and your God-given self. You knew it meant taking on the characteristics of your captors instead of giving them your character. Dr. King wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do it. So the system murdered him. 39 years old. A young man. A young black man. That according to the growth of man, by the number 7, wow. He had just arrived at the maturity of his understanding. Just got there. Black people's struggle was not so that we could become the oppressor. It was so that we could become the free thinker, the builder. But no, that's not good enough. You want it to be him, wasting your precious moment in time, mimicking evil. No, Dr. King would not do that. Imagine, had he reached 49, 10 more years, it would have been, according to that number 7 again, the most rapid improvement and growth of both his intellectual and reasoning power. The degree to which he would have elevated mankind would have been astronomical. Help me, Lord. Dumb, devilish, white boy. You helped the system kill a prophet. That's what you did. You killed a prophet. For that the whole of humanity still suffers to this day. For 40 years of my life, I watched black people walking around prisons with keys in their hands, riding around in circles with weapons, proudly guarding walls and fences, suspicious of each other, sworn to kill anyone who comes near, guarding other unjustly treated black people. keepers of the shrine, counting me several times a day, strengthening my belief that as a black man, I am more precious than gold, that I am worth every life lost in that great Civil War when men fought and died for my black soul. Black people been a greater part than ever of the continuing saga of atrocities that have made us a nation of criminal suspects, filling the prisons and jails for 40-year sentences for 8 ounces of marijuana, just because of the color of their skin. What happened, black people, to make you so complacent, so comfortable with cruelty? How could you forget how you vowed someday to overcome? I will overcome is what you said. To give the master your character so that he would be like you. Today, black communities are an eyesore. We kill each other with impunity, feeling nothing. Killing for colors, for turf that you can never own. This system of greed and self-hate taught us that. Brothers and sisters, we've become the children of Willie Lynch, equal to him in the administering of suffering, pain, sorrow, and misery. So far away from your original black nature and Dr. King's message of peace and love. Now let this story be written today. Let it know Roger Davis's distorted view. Black history and criminal history are inseparable. Let this story be told in all our tomorrows. Why? Why? Because any nation whose foundation is laid with a blatant disregard for any segment of its people, black, white, brown, yellow, red, gay, straight, will always have a painful past and an unfulfilled future. Thus, we're here today talking about a time that never should have been. Talking about a people still trying to be. Looking for a future that will give us peace and dignity in our little moment in time. Happy birthday, Martin Luther King. Thank you, Martin.